This is the ultimate AI content agent. I refer to it as the mother of all AI content agents. I've never seen anything like it on YouTube, and there is actually nothing when it comes to content that this bad boy agent cannot do. When it comes to content, of course, it can't give you blowjobs or make you coffee. We're not there yet. But all jokes aside, guys, this video is going to be super valuable. I'm going to give you all the templates of the tools and the make scenarios that I use in my free school community for free. And keep in mind that this is a $3,000 project that I've built in my agency for a client. Now, let's go through some of the tools that this agent has access to, and then I'm going to dive into everything one thing at a time, and I'm going to break it down so you can understand why it works this way. So the first tool it can use is publishing posts on all social media channels. He can do a competitor content analysis. He can generate a video script from a topic or a title you give it. He can generate content ideas from competitors' comments. You know, many times people watch a video, they leave comments about ideas they would want to see in future videos. This agent can actually go ahead, scrape those comments and generate a video idea based on that, and also a script. He can add a content idea to a database or a Google document or a sheet. He can generate a personal post from a topic, a personalized post like you wrote it from any topic that you give it. He can scrape URLs from a blog post or a social media post that you've seen and generate a personal post based on that. I mean, the list goes on, man. And of course, you can connect more tools to it. This is why I'm going to give you this template completely for free in my school. Maybe you want to play around with it, add more things to it, make it even more complicated and more effective and functional. That's on you. But first, let's get started right here. So the trigger, as you can see, is a Telegram trigger. And he can also take voice messages as well as text messages. So the first note that triggers this agent is, of course, a Telegram trigger on message, and then it goes to a switch, and the switch basically decides, or it routes whether it's an audio message or a text message. Then it goes into an edit fields if it's a text message, because we want to make sure that whether it's a text message or a voice message, we're always outputting the same file, just so we can then plug it into the agent, and he always has the same input. And then if it's a voice message, the message gets here, it gets the file ID, downloads the file, and then it puts it into an OpenAI module that basically turns speech to text. It transcribes it, and then again it goes into an edit fields node, so we output it in the same way, just so we can always keep the same input, a JSON text as the inquiry in the agent. And this is the agent's prompt right here. It's actually very simple. Your job is to decide which is the appropriate tool you need to call based on the inquiry you receive. This is the inquiry right here. And then the response, always refer to me as my master, because I built this thing and I want it to call me master. All right. This is just something weird about me. I always set up my agents like this. I have the other one the other day, call me Lord. This one, my master. But yeah, man, it just makes things a little more excited and fun, I guess. As the brain of this agent, we have GPT-4o. It has Windows buffer memory. Now, one thing I want you to note when you're setting up the buffer memory here is you got to make sure you add the chat ID from the Telegram trigger right here, and you can also give it some context, 5-10 messages, doesn't matter. But this is going to be super important. Otherwise, the agent is not going to know which Telegram chat you're referring to. So make sure you add it right there. And then, of course, it returns the answer back in the Telegram channel. One thing I did here is I added a field, and then I chose the append N8N attribution, and then I turn it off because otherwise it would say that this message was generated by N8N. And of course, the operation here is send message, because we wanted to provide us the response it got from the tool. The chat ID is the same one that you get from the trigger that you use for the buffer memory as well. And then the text is going to be the output of this agent right here. Now, as far as the tools go, man, I wanna start with something maybe a little simpler, and let's get into the more advanced tools as we go on. So this is the agent right here. Just cleared the history, by the way, because I was asking it some weird shit. No, man, I'm just kidding. I cleared it because I wanted wanted to make it simpler for the video. So I'm going to start it. And by the way, if you don't know how to set up your Telegram bot to use as a trigger on your make automations or whatever automations you want to build, maybe on N8N or whatever other platform, then you have to come here to the bot father and set up a bot. It has pretty clear instructions, and then it's going to give you an API token that you can then connect to your N8N agent. Okay, so with that said, let's give it a test. So the first tool we can use, let me see. So we have generate video script, generate content ideas from competitors' comments, add a video idea, generate personal posts from topic. Okay, let's use this tool right here. Scrape a URL and generate a post. So what I did is I found a blog post from McKinsey & Company about AI agents. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it into the agent. By the way, I'm not sure why it says this here. It shouldn't say it because, or maybe I need to go back and then turn this off. Let's see, let me save it. And now let me, I'm gonna delete this message right here, and let's see if now, because I don't want it to say this, right? So I'm gonna try to delete it, boom. And then I'm gonna start it again. And okay, so you see right now is not saying the N8N attribution. So it says, my master, I'm ready to assist you. Of course you are. Please let me know how I can be of service, whether it's writing a script, generating content ideas, or anything else you need. That's exactly what I need from an AI agent, bro. This is like the dream employee. But anyway, so what I'm going to say is generate me a personalized post based on this blog post I found on the internet. So I'm going to give it the link. And then actually before I send the message, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the make scenario and also the tool for this. So let me duplicate this, boom. And now we can also see that I added tags to every tool about this agent just so I can find it easier, because once you build a few workflows, man, it gets pretty complicated. But anyway, so let's find the tool, script URL, generate post. So this is a tool right here. It's very simple. Of course, when you, based on the inquiry that you send to the agent through the Telegram trigger, is going to decide which is the right tool it needs to call. And this is the scrape URL and generate personalized post tool. So you can see for every tool you want your agent to be able to call, you have to use this trigger right here, execute workflow trigger. So then your agent can pass data through this trigger right here, and then you can use it throughout the rest of your workflow. Now, what I did right here, because I wanted to use some tools that are not directly or natively integrated with N8N, I also combined make scenarios as well. So scrape URL and generate personalized post. This is a make scenario right here that does that. And the reason I did that, guys, you can also set up like Apify, which is the scraping platform that I use in your N8N platform, but then you're gonna need to like, set up all the API and everything. For me, it's easier to do it this way. So what I did right here, as you can see, is I went on the make platform, I created a webhook, and then I added that webhook URL right here, and then it's a post request. And then as a body, I basically sent to this webhook on make the URL that it receives from the trigger. So this URL is gonna be, the agent is gonna call this tool, and then this tool is basically going to send this URL to make, so it can continue with the rest of the workflow, and then it's gonna return that data back to this HTTP request as a response. So then we're gonna send it back in the Telegram channel as a response, so we know that the entire workflow was completed. I hope you're following me here, man. I know this stuff can get pretty confusing, especially if you're a beginner here. But anyways, let's give it a test first. So I'm gonna run this scenario on make. In a real world scenario, or once we publish this for my client, of course, all the scenarios are gonna be active all the time. But in any case, now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and send this message to my Telegram bot. So generate me a personalized post based on this blog post I found on the internet. All right, so now the agent called this tool, and now this tool send the data to this make.com scenario, so we can go ahead and execute our request. What I want to do now is go to Apify, and I'm going to show you the actual scraper that I use, because of course the tool, the way it works is going to scrape this website right here, why AI agents, what's the title of it? The next frontier for generative AI. It's going to scrape all the information from here, and then it's going to write a post in a way that I write it, so then I can maybe use it. But what it's doing right now is it's basically calling this website content crawler tool. So it's calling this tool right here, and you can see it is running right now. Let's just wait for it. So you can see it's running right now. So far it costs like half a cent or something, or actually 5 cents. And then once it's completed, so you can see the actor was run successfully, and then it waits for 30 seconds, and then it retrieves the data that this actor generated. So I also want to show you inside each module. This video is probably going to be too long, man. But anyways, it doesn't matter, because I know it's going to be helpful to a lot of you guys. But anyway, so now you can see the workflow is completed successfully, and now the agent just responded to me. My master, I have generated a personalized post based on the blog post from Mackenzie. You can review it here, and it also sends me the link. And once I click this link and I open it, it's going to direct me to the Google Sheet that I have connected, where this agent is going to, or this make scenario is going to populate all the data. So let's go back to the make scenario. I want to walk you through it. So as I already told you, it receives the URL within the webhook, then it runs an actor on Apify. Now, if you want to connect your Apify actor, whatever it might be, a web crawler, a comment scraper, a LinkedIn scraper, whatever it might be, what you have to do is first go to Apify. Let me find it because I have too many windows open. You want to come to Apify, and then you want to go where it says input. You want to configure all the parameters, and then you want to come here and then copy the JSON file, basically Command A, and then go back to your make scenario and then paste it right here. And then for every variable that you want to change, you're going to have to come here and add it manually. So basically what I did here is I replaced the URL with the URL that it received from the webhook. Then it sleeps for 30 seconds. The reason I have it that way is so we give the actor enough time to actually complete the execution before we try to retrieve the data from it. Otherwise, it's going to continue the make scenario without retrieving the data, even though it might get it. So we need to wait a few seconds here. And I've noticed that even when you say run synchronously, it still fails sometimes. Maybe now it failed. So let me see. Yeah, so right now it failed. You see, it didn't, so the actor runs successfully, but instead of 30 seconds, I should have said like 45 seconds here, or maybe even more. Because if I go here to Apify, and then I go to runs, and I select this run right here, you can see the output. It extracted all the text, but it didn't send it through. When I used the get dataset items on module on make, it didn't retrieve that data. So although the actor was run successfully, it didn't retrieve that data because I didn't give it enough time to wait, and then it continued executing the workflow without retrieving the data. So this one should be 45, even 60 seconds, because it's a lot of text we want to scrape. Sometimes it might take a little bit of time to do it. So now if I'm gonna try it again, which I will, you're gonna see that it will retrieve all the data. But yeah, basically this workflow failed right now, although it seems like it completed because we don't have any data or any items here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to, let's say, 60 seconds. I'm going to select OK, and then I'm going to run it again. And now I'm going to basically go back to my Telegram trigger, and then I'm going to copy and paste this once more. By the way, if you don't understand what the issue is, let me know in the comments and I'll try to explain it to you better. But now I paste this, and now it's pretty much going to run again. And now because it's going to wait a little longer, we're actually going to have data coming through so you can continue with the rest of the workflow. And if I go to the sheet right here, which this is the sheet right here, as you can see, when it comes to the personalized post based on the URL, you see that it didn't actually generate the post because it didn't have the data from the Apify actor. But this time, I suppose it's going to be different. While this is running, I hope I can actually go ahead and show you the, well, I can't click it, so we're going to have to wait. But I want to show you the prompt inside this module right here, so you can see how I basically gave it a knowledge base from all the text that I've previously written. And then that way it kind of knows, or it understands how I write, so it can replicate my style of writing, even though it's basically going to be based upon the text on this page right here. So let's give it some time, guys. I'm probably going to cut the video, do a quick cut, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so this was completed successfully. It took about a minute or 40 seconds or something. And by the way, what I'm smoking right now is a cigarette. Some people have seen me smoke on videos and they thought I was smoking weed or something. I don't smoke that shit. This is raw tobacco, right? So it's cigarette that I make myself. Anyways, let's go back to this make scenario right here. So you can see this time, because I extended the waiting time, it actually retrieved all the data successfully. So here's the text it extracted from the website, which is a big chunk of text. And then that text goes into the OpenAI module. And what the OpenAI module does is basically rewrites the post with certain parameters and certain rules as if I wrote it. So here is the rewritten post, generative AI agents, the dawn of a new era, and blah, 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 whatever, it goes on. Let me show you here very quickly how the get dataset items work. So all you have to do is put the default dataset ID that you get from the actor that you initially run, and then double click on this. I'm using the GPT-4o system, and for the system prompt, so I set up the system prompt as like the primary prompt, where there I input all the knowledge base that I want, and here's what I say. You are a content writing specialist. Your job is to receive text from a blog post or a website and rewrite it in a personalized way, so it looks like I wrote it. Here are some examples of text that I previously wrote myself. And basically what I did is I copied some of the newsletters that I sent in my email newsletter, which, by the way, if you haven't joined already, make sure you do. And that way basically knows how I write myself. And then I create another prompt, which is, let me let it actually load, which is actually a user role. And here is where I give it all the input data. I'm not sure why this got so small. But anyways, then what it does is adds a row in a Google Sheet, which is basically where I want it to store the data. So that's actually very simple. Ultimate Content AI Agent. So I'm matching the specific spreadsheet I wanted to use, and then the original URL as well as the personalized post based on the URL, which is basically the result from the ChatGPT module. And then I get the share link of this sheet, so I can then return it to me in the Telegram channel. So you can see the second run here was successful. My master, I have generated a personalized post based on the blog post you found. You can review it here. If you need any further adjustments or assistance, please let me know. So if I click here now, you're going to be able to see the post that it was generated successfully. So here's the post right here, which is basically the result from the GPT module, as I said, and you can go ahead and read it. And it also gives you the original URL. And of course, you can format it better, guys, so it doesn't spill out the way like that, but it's okay. So this is the generate personalized post based on a blog post. It can also scrape a social media post. Although for that, what I would recommend you do is you use a different actor that specializes in scraping posts from social media. Yeah, but anyways, so this is the first tool I wanted to show you. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try this tool, generate a personal post from a topic, which actually works in a very similar way than this tool does. So I should have saved it. But anyway, so this is the make scenario. And I also want to pull up the specific tool. So generate personal posts from a topic. And the way this works is you basically give the agent a title or a topic you want it to generate a post for, and then it actually goes ahead and does that. So let me run this make scenario. You can see this one is smaller because you don't need to scrape any data. So this scenario is active right here. And then I go back to the Telegram agent, and now I'm going to say, generate me a post with the following title, or you can just give it a topic, doesn't matter. And what you want to say is like, whatever, it doesn't matter. 7 AI tools every agency needs. Just keeping it simple. And now it's supposed to call this scenario right here, which it did. And the philosophy of this tool, it's pretty much the same as the other one. I'm talking about N8N. So the data goes through the, I actually have pinned data here, so I should have unpinned it first, but it doesn't matter. It goes through this, then it gets sent to a new webhook now, and then as a response, it returns the data that the HTTP request receives once the make scenario is completed. Here, I kind of did the same thing. I gave it access to some of my writing, so it knows how I write. And then I also give it some instructions, add 5 to 10 relevant hashtags, keep the post under 200 words, use emojis at the appropriate place, always add powerful hook in the beginning. So I give it a few different instructions, and then I also give it the topic that I wanted to write a post for from the webhook. And then it adds it into a sheet. It gets the share link of that sheet, and it sends it back to the N8N tool. So then it can give it back to us in the Telegram channel. So it says, my master, I've generated a personalized post, title 7 AI tools every agency needs. So if I click here, I open this link. This is a different sheet, of course. You can also use the same sheet for everything. But you can go ahead and read it right here. I'm not going to do it right now because this video is probably going to be already too long, but it's okay. So what I wanted to do right now is generate some video ideas. So let me find the generate content ideas from competitors' comments. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is first I'm going to unpin this data. Boom. Okay, perfect. Save it. And the way this works is it also uses make.com to run the entire scenario, because we have scrapers and it's easier to connect the scraper to make rather than N8N. So scrape competitor YouTube comments and generate ideas. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to quickly walk you through this make scenario right here. So if it ever loads, all right, here it is. Now the idea here is that you send a link to the Telegram agent about a video that you wanted to go through the comments, scrape them, and based on the comments generate a video for. And then it calls this tool right here. It sends the URL of that video to this webhook. And then we're using a different Apify actor this time. Let me, where is it? Apify, here it is. So let me show you the Apify actor that we're using. So this is a YouTube comment scraper actor. And basically you can scrape hundreds of comments if you want it. I have the limit to 25, but you can also do more. And again, once you put the URL here, then copy this JSON, and then select the appropriate actor you want to use, and then paste the JSON and replace the variables that you want from the data that you get from the webhook. Then I have it sleep for 45 seconds, just like the previous tool. so it has enough time to get the data. And then I retrieve all the data sets from Apify. And what I do is, because it returns multiple bundles, it returns each comment, as I'm going to show you in a bit, as multiple different bundles. I use a text aggregator. So I put all the comments in one chunk of text, so then I can input it into my OpenAI module, so it can basically understand what it is and execute the function that we want it to execute. So what I'm going to do now is run this. So right now it's waiting for new data. I have a video link right here from Nick Sarive's video, which I actually think is one of the better content creators in our space, and I also enjoy watching his videos as well. I also like his energy too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this Telegram trigger, and I'm going to say, based on this URL, on this YouTube URL, scrape the comments and generate me some video ideas. So I'm going to give it the URL, boom. And now it's supposed to call this tool right here. Let's go to executions. So you can see it's already running. It called it, and now it's running the data went through the webhook, and it's now running the Apify actor. So if we go here to runs, you can actually see the actor running right now. It's going to take a little bit of time to be completed, just like the previous one. And we're also going to need to wait for 45 seconds. So it takes a little bit of time to receive the response back into the Telegram channel, because everything needs to go through. But let's just wait. I'm going to do another cut right here, and I'll be right back, baby. All right, guys. So as you can see, the workflow was executed successfully. We just got the sweet sound from the Telegram channel right here. So you can see it retrieved all the ideas. But now I want to walk you through how this workflow works. So you can see, I mean, this we explained pretty simply. What I want to explain to you is this part right here. So you can see that basically the Apify module that retrieves the data sets from the Apify platform once it completed the execution gives us a bunch of different bundles right here, right? So bundle 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 23, because this was the amount of comments it scraped from that video. So what I'm using right here is a text aggregator, because there is no way I can drag and drop all these bundles into my ChatGPT module as input, so it can actually formulate the response there. So what I have to do first is put everything together in one chunk of text, or in one bundle right here. So the way I'm doing it is I'm using a text aggregator. The row separator, I use new row, and then the text is basically going to be this, where is it? It's basically going to be this, piece right here, the comment text. So basically what we want is, we don't care whose the video it is, we don't care the date the comment was posted, we don't care how many likes the comment was posted. I mean, of course, you can build tools that make use of those parameters in some way, but for this specific example, we only care about the actual text of the comment itself. So then it aggregates everything into one. So you can see this is all the input it got, 23 bundles, and it only outputs one bundle right here with all the text. You can see it. And then I take this bundle and I put it into my OpenAI module that is prompted to generate ideas based on the text it receives. Pretty simple stuff. And then once it generates the idea, it sends it back to the N8N tool. So let's go back to the editor. It sends it back as a response to the HTTP request that we've made. And then it sends the idea back into the Telegram channel. So you can see my master. I've generated some video ideas based on the YouTube URL and comments. Here are a few. And then you can see all these ideas right here. Ultimate guide to AI automation pricing models. All right. And now let's say that I want to save this idea right here. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to paste it right here. And now I just want to make sure I'm not using a make scenario for this automation. Scrape URL, generate personal scrape comments. Okay, so what I want to do now is add this idea right here from the ideas it generated to a Google Doc. So then I can go to it and read it and film a new video. And then I'm also going to ask it to generate a script from this idea right here. So please save this idea to my Google document. I think it's a document I'm using, I'm not sure. Let's go here, add video ideas to doc. So I'm gonna double click on it and you can see just added it. Ultimate guide to AI automation pricing models. And I also wanna break down how this tool works. So my master the idea ultimate guide, blah, 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 has been successfully saved to the Google Doc. So what I'm going to do now is, and by the way, I'm surprised I'm not being confused with everything happening so fast and all these tabs I have open. But anyway, so let me go back. And what I want to do now is find the add content idea. Here it is. This is a tool. And again, the same trigger. Then I edit the fields and I use a little bit of coding right here, because if now I go ahead and I copy this idea, when it adds it to the document, I want to make sure there is a space between it. So you can see I don't just want everything to be a huge chunk of text. Like I want it to leave a line. So that's why I've added that custom piece of coding. So it's basically the plus, the brackets, the n, and whatnot, which I haven't wrote myself, by the way. I use ChatGPT for, because I don't know how to code. But now if I run it again, add this idea to the doc as well. So now you can see, let me go back to it. You can see it left some space between them, just so it looks more appealing to the eye and it's easier to read. And of course you can use Airtable for this. You can use whatever you want. I just like to keep things simple and lean. So that's the reason I'm doing it. And for this build, I've used my own APIs, of course. And for my client, I'm just going to change everything to his preferences. Yeah, so I basically edit the fields right here. So I add this custom part into the query. So it adds the space in between every time. And then I update a Google document. So all you have to do is basically put the doc URL right here. You first have to connect your all your credentials and create an auth token for your Google Documents account, or generally your Google Cloud account, which is kind of like a pain in the ass thing to set up. And that's also part of the reason why I'm using Make for this, for some of these automations or tools, because it's much easier to set up all the APIs there. They require like less, complexity. It also has native integrations with other platforms. But yeah, the operation I use is update. And then I create basically, I insert all the parameters here. So the body at the end of specific position, and then I drag and drop the output from the edit fields to the doc. And then as a response, I have it say completed. So the agent can then know that, okay, this process was completed successfully. So my master, the idea, revenue share automation model has been successfully added to the document. If there is anything else you need, please feel free to ask. So what I'm going to do now, guys, since I've shown you how these 4 tools work, I'm going to have it write a script for this idea right here. So ultimate, okay, boom, I'm going to copy it. Copy selected text. I'm going to paste it right here, and I'm going to say, write me a script for this video idea. And this is where it kind of gets a little more tricky. So I want to show you, because now we're using a little more code for this one. So let me find it, generate video script tool. So this is a one. So when I call it, let's just send it, boom. It's supposed to call this tool right here. So let's go to executions. You can see the tool is running. The data comes through the workflow trigger. And then I basically gave ChatGPT a prompt so it knows the specific structure that I want to follow whenever it writes scripts for me. Okay, and this is something that you can of course change based on your liking and everything. But what is important here, at least for my case, is I set up these instructions. So for each point you output name the objects, point, description, and examples. And the reason I wanted to never change the names is because I have hard-coded some things into the next node, and sometimes it changes how it names things, and then the code doesn't work. So never change the name of any given parameters always. And then your input data, which I added into a user role, it comes from the trigger itself. And of course, I'm using GPT-4o for this one. And then I have it. I use an update Google document node, so you can go ahead and find the right doc where I wanted to upload the script and then add it there. So first, let me see if this was a successful run. My master have written a script for the video idea ultimate guide to automation pricing models. You can access and review the script right here. So I'm going to open this link. And you can actually see the script right here, Ultimate Guide to AI Pricing Models. And it gives a hook, the introduction, the main points that I wanted to expand on, the description or a quick description for each point and some examples. It does that. Then it does a quick engagement break, conclusion, and then at the end it gives a call to action. And now I want to show you the actual how I set this up right here. So for the title, I basically used the same variable that I added that came through from the trigger. So that's this variable right here. This piece of text is basically execute workflow trigger.item JSON query, and the trigger outputs basically this title right here. And the reason I'm doing this is so I can have the title of the video pop up on the top of the doc, and then I'm using, let me find it, and then I'm using this piece of code right here, which basically does a few things. The first thing it does is it makes the headers of each section bold, just to make it look a little more appealing. Of course, you can have it like highlight things, add lines and everything, but I optimize for simplicity. So it makes the headers bold, and then it also adds spaces in between. And it also adds all the points, the description of each point, as well as the examples as well. Now, if you don't have it set up this way, it's going to be just a huge text populated on a Google Doc that is going to be hard to read. So that's why I have it set up this way. There are also other ways to do it, guys. This is one very interesting thing about automations, is that there are multiple different ways to build the same thing. Multiple different logics. You could have used like a custom code, node, and hard coded in there. So whatever data comes through it, it knows how to manipulate it. But in any case, this is how I'm doing it. And again, I'm going to leave templates to all the tools that I've shown you in all the scenarios, except the two tools that I'm still working on, which is the publish post tool, as well as another one, which I forget what it is right now. But anyway, so once those tools are ready, I'm also going to add them into my school community as templates. And by the way, here you get templates from all the videos I make. Everything I build, I just add here. But yeah, let's go back here, and I want to show you the edit field section. Now, what I do right here in the edit field section is I set the response, and then this is going to be basically the document ID. But in front of it, I also add https docs.google.com/document because I want it to populate as a clickable link. Now, another way to do it was to basically I want to get a new node. But anyways, another way to do it is to use like Google Drive. Let's see, Drive, and then get a file. You can use the get a file section or get link. I don't know. I'm not sure how it's called on N8N. But the reason I haven't done it this way is because I would need to go ahead and set up the APIs for my Google Drive, and it was going to be a little bit of a headache since I was going to change it later. So you see create new credentials. So I kind of found a little cheaty way to go around it. Anyways, man, we're already 40 plus minutes into this thing, man. This was one of the interesting builds. I actually enjoyed building quite a lot. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, join my free school community, guys. There are already 600 plus members in there, giving you daily value, free stuff, everything, and you don't even have to pay for anything. So make sure you join that. And on top of that, if you're a business owner watching this video and you want to build some very cool automation for your business so you can save time and money, feel free to book in a call with me with the link in the description. And with that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.